This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's May 3rd, 2021, and this is show number 258. Well, Nick, the Friday effect finally let us down.
We finally had a down Friday. I have to say, I really needed to see it into the close because you never know what they could pull out in the final 20, 30 minutes of the session. But we did finish a little bit lower, negative actually on Friday. Now, the trading volume was not very heavy, so it really didn't mean that much. And today the markets are rallying back up. But either way, the uptrend in the markets are still intact right now, even though we did have a down Friday. So nothing really changed all that much.
Hey, and, when you look at it, it was down, but it wasn't down terribly. You could be certain if it was really crashing, they would have interceded for sure. And the Friday effect would have lived on to tell another tale. But they didn't really need to do it last Friday, did they?
No, they didn't at all. And you're 100% correctly. It was a very controlled decline. It was nothing really disruptive. It was just like a typical down day, minor down day. It wasn't anything, there was no volume on the move, and that's what I look for. If there's heavy volume on the move and we go down big, that's a telltale sign that this rally is over. But that did not happen on Friday.
Hey, so the bull lives to fight on another day, right?
That's right. And again, down Friday, but up today. Markets are reversed right back up. We have the Dow Jones Industrial Average up almost 300 points as we speak. And, we're seeing some sluggish action in the NASDAQ today. Technology really doesn't seem to be all that strong. And one thing I want to point out is that Amazon had a pretty good reversal on Friday. It finished actually negative, and today it's down, another 23 points, which isn't a huge decline, only 0.6%. But another tech name that had a big gap up after earnings couldn't hold its gains and is seeing some follow through sell side action today.
Hey, and you know what is really interesting? They both had pretty stellar earnings, Apple and Amazon, and yet nonetheless, they got dumped.
Yes, and Microsoft too. Don't forget Microsoft. That's one of the $1 trillion market cap companies as well. They had great earnings as well. They had probably the best earnings, and that stock gapped lower, finished lower on the session, and really it's just sitting just above the 250 level, but it has not gotten back to its highs of 5 days ago. So we've seen some tech stocks report earnings last week, the mega cap names, and they really didn't hold up very well.
Yeah, and that should be alarming in and of itself. If we don't see them turn around probably right in the next week or so, that's a portent of things to come.
Oh, I already think it's there. I think this is a tell right now. The market often has a little bit of a poker face, and it gives us little clues and little subtle tips on what's taking place. But when you see these big mega cap tech names have these failed breakouts, you have to take note of that. Now, they haven't plunged lower, but just the fact that they were not able to rally after the announcement on monster numbers. I mean, these numbers were enormous. That's just a little bit of a telltale sign that they're probably looking at major headwinds going forward.
Hey, and like I said, Apple, you're just buying iPhone futures because that's the whole company. Basically, half the company is iPhone sales.
And then you have the services now, right? So they're big into the services. I guess that's their new their new point of strength that they talk about is all the services that they have. But for me, it's all about the stock price. And just to point out Apple, which I think is the most important stock in the world, this stock has not made a new high going since January 25th. So that should be telling us a little something.
Yeah, in spite of the stellar earnings and the GDP growth, something we didn't talk about that much. GDP growth for the quarter was 6%.
Right. So you have it. Again, you have people going back to work now. Things are opening up. I honestly don't think it's all that terrific. Once the economy is fully reopened, we'll return to sub 2% growth.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. It's already, it's amazing. The whole unemployment insurance bonus has got millions of people staying on the sidelines because the people who need that bonus the most are the ones who are not going back to work because it's more profitable to stay unemployed. This is a classic case of incentives run amok.
It is. And, it's been going on for a long time. That's what's even more frightening. And, to just think since the Biden administration has come into power, potentially they're going to have borrowed $6 trillion in, basically less than a little over 3 months. So it's terrifying to see what is going on here. But, that's why we look at charts. I'm never smart enough to figure out the story. But underneath the surface, if you look underneath the hood, we got lots of oil leaks going on in that car.
Yeah, there's lots of leaks, that's for sure. So, Buffett's partner, Charlie Munger, I think he's 97. Obviously, he's too old to understand cryptocurrencies, right?
Well, that's what we're going to hear from the crypto bulls today. But he did slam Bitcoin this weekend, basically at their annual meeting. He basically said, to quote him, he said, "I don't welcome a currency that is so useful to kidnappers and extortionists. The whole damn development is disgusting."
Yeah.
So.
Well, that sounds like the U.S. dollar to me. That sounds like any currency. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous thing. That's just tarring all these people speculating in it. I mean, if he had come out against gambling and excessive speculation, a very minor thing used for the illegalities, but maybe he knows something we don't.
Yeah, maybe he does.
With the deep state, right?
They are.
Buffett, deep state organization, for sure. And there's a lot of things you could be against Bitcoin, but the idea that it's used solely for illegal activities, spoken by a guy who pays like a 5% tax rate, or if he pays even that, because he probably doesn't sell much in a year.
No, he probably doesn't. And again, these guys are, mega billionaires. But it was interesting to see how he really was against it, and he was really vocal. Now, Warren Buffett didn't say much, but Charlie Munger said a lot. And again, we'll have to, we don't care really what he says. I just found it very, very interesting that he slammed it the way he did. And, again, I'm not in love with Bitcoin up here at these levels. It is an asset class right now. It may stick around for a while. I'm personally not a believer in it myself, but not for those reasons, for other reasons, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, and I guess you won't be able to pay your Geico auto insurance bill in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, Ethereum, anytime soon. He seems to be giving sending out that message. So there's an opening for a competitor to be able to pay your premium. First, you could buy your Tesla with Bitcoin, and then to be able to pay your premium, your insurance premium in crypto. I think there's a market that's being neglected there, Nick.
Yeah, I think so. I was just waiting to hear if Charlie Munger was going to have any comments about Dogecoin, because that's
that's a whole nother story. That just reminds me of Will Rogers, where he said that every time Congress meets, it's a joke, and every time they make a joke, it becomes a law. I mean,
I love that guy.
Yeah, that's so true. But okay, so we would be remiss if we didn't mention gold and silver. I mean, gold's up like $30 the ounce today on the spot.
Yeah, gold is on fire today. Really, after that big pullback, we got a 27-point move in the futures right now, trading just under $1,800. Now we built the base to go through that 1,800 level. And I said, when we got up to there, we got to 1798 a little over a week ago. I said to you on the program, I said, hey, we need to pull back here. This is the spot. And we pulled back for a week or so. And now it's poised to go higher. It's just a sensational day for gold. Even the gold ETFs, the miners are doing fabulous. You name it, everything precious metals is on fire. Silver as well.
Yeah, silver is really up even higher on a percentage level than is gold.
Yeah, silver today up 4.4%, over $27 and on the futures. And that's just a tremendous run. So I think we're on breakout here for silver. I think gold is about to break out. Still hasn't done it yet, but the pattern is there to do it. And I really like everything I'm seeing in the precious metals right now.
Yeah, so you think there's going to be a coming breakout in gold, and that's going to, who knows how high it's going to take us, right?
Well, we'll see. Once, like I always say, once we clear one level, I'm pretty good at figuring out the next spot. So, let's see how we clear it. And once we do that, then we'll go up to the next resistance zone. But the pattern that is in place is a powerhouse pattern, and that suggests a lot higher to go.
It's a powerhouse pattern. And how do you define a powerhouse pattern there, Nick?
Well, when I look at a chart, the first thing I want to look for is what has the equity done over the past 2 weeks or 10 days or 7 days. And in this case, you had a pop in gold up into the April 21st high. Then we pulled back very gradual on lighter volume. And now we're really just starting to penetrate that old high from the 21st. And when you get that pattern, it's a pattern that usually says we built an army and now we're charging and we're going to take out everybody in front of us.
So for the rest of the market, sell in May and go away might be a good idea, but not so much for gold and silver, huh?
No, I think gold and silver right now looks look like some of the best charts out there. So you got to stay with it. And, if we take out certain numbers here, we're going a lot higher.
You think we could see $30 plus silver?
I do think we could see that. In fact, right now we're at 27. And when you look at the silver futures chart, the next spot is really going to be around 28 and change. And then it's really $30.
$30.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that'll be good for you stackers out there. You'll be finally, unless you bought it at $50, which many of you did, I'm sure. But that's why it's always a good idea to average up and average down. I got to confess, Nick, I have a Coinbase account and I have it auto-programmed to buy a bunch of cryptos that a close friend, Ed, recommended to me that I have no idea what they do or what good they are, but he seems to think they have some value. And I'm up 10% in less than a week on that account. It's just fun to watch, I'll tell you.
Yeah, listen, if you want to throw a little some shekels at it, I'd never have an argument with it. Just make sure it's money that you can afford to lose. And again, when we get this kind of euphoria out there, especially in the Bitcoin market, I mean, they're euphoric as ever. I talk to people all the time now saying, hey, I'm getting into Ethereum, I'm getting into Dogecoin, I'm getting it. I said, all right, good luck to you. But when everybody's jumping in, you want to ride that last wave, but don't stay on it too long. Make sure you turn that surfboard around and take your profits.
And a lot of the names of these cryptocurrencies, Nick, are just absurd. Like Bitcoin, Ethereum, those aren't too bad. But you got like Raven, Cardano, and I'm not passing on their merits. Don't get me wrong. I own some of them for some reason. But they have the most Chainlink. That's one that I own a little bit of. They have the most bizarre names that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, I can't see going into Starbucks and I buy my $5 latte and they say, oh, that'll be 0.13% of a Chainlink coin. I was like, okay, well, you know what? Coinbase has it figured out. I'll let them pay you. I'll sell the stuff and I'll just give you dollars. It's like, are you going to, when you go into an airport, Nick, international airport, and you see the currency exchange chart up by the currency exchange there, are there going to be crypto exchanges like that? They'll probably be all digital. There won't be anyone working there. And they'll have like thousands of cryptocurrencies, what they're worth. And you'll go convert when you're leaving or coming, and you'll convert from dollars or pounds or euros into that, and then you'll convert back. I mean,
it's coming.
This is a brave new world.
Yeah, it's coming. We're going to see that. I think we're going to see it. I just don't know, where the cryptos will actually come into play. But we already know there's going to be digital euro later this year. China has already gone to digital currency on the phone. The only thing is they've given the people an expiration date of when they have to spend their money. So, we are looking at a brave new world here. I don't know if we call it brave, but it's a crazy new world, I would say. And it's coming. That stuff's all in the making. It's all happening.
That reminds me something that really aggravates the hell out of me. New York switches from tokens, and if you had a token, it was good forever unless they changed tokens because they raised price so much that they didn't want you to use the old tokens to stop hoarding. But the damn Easy Pass has got an expiration date on it, and there's just no reason for that whatsoever because you're probably going to lose it anyway. But why does it have to have a freshness date? Is it going to go stale like the bread in the supermarket if it goes past that date? And that's the Chinese yuan. Like, that's just pure manipulation and government control.
Sure. And, that's what it's all about. It's always about control. It's just more control, more control, more control. We've seen this over the years. We lose more and more of our freedoms, and somebody else gains more and more control. And that's really what it's about. That's the bottom line. You hit the perfect word there with control.
Control equals power equals money. And really, because even if you don't have money, if you have control, money will just naturally follow. We'll leave it at that. Go over and take a look at inthemoneystocks.com. We were telling you about this trade in gold for about a month, and now it looks like it's here. You think this is the one, Nick?
Well, I think the setup is here. I never like to anoint anything until it really happens, but I think this is as good a setup as you're going to find. And gold looks really, really strong. I love the pattern, and I'm a pattern trader. So for me, this is a powerhouse move.
All right, and you would have seen it had you gone 2 months ago to inthemoneystocks.com. Make sure you monitor the Twitter feeds. There are 3 at ITMS, at Nick Santiago 01, at Kerry Lutz. Keep your emails coming to my personal email address, kl@kerrylutz.com. Nick, we'll pick up tomorrow.
Sounds good, Kerry.
And so concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. Be sure to go to his website, inthemoneystocks.com. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago 01.